Screen time and social media, it's of course got plenty of positives, but in 2019 I think plenty of us, me included, looking at our phones a bit too much these days.
Just a little bit too much. Social media addiction has been linked to anxiety and sleep deprivation.
That stark warning from one of the founders of Facebook, the site's first president, Sean Parker, is now admitting that Facebook was designed to be addictive.
For some users, sites like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram can become a troubling obsession, causing them to lose touch with reality.
Many teenagers are spending a majority of their time online because of the allure of social media.
I think the tools that have been created today are starting to erode the social fabric of how society works.
In recent years, obsession over social media has become a significant topic of discussion across all generations. 7 months ago, Apple released its latest software update, iOS 12, which included the first iteration of the screen time setting. This setting tracks usage of different apps and phone features, including all social media platforms. Since the release of Screen Time, many questions have surfaced about the harms of too much social media usage and how it is affecting certain age groups. Looking into these questions further, we took time to interview friends and family, some of whom had just taken a 40-day break from all social media outlets, to get their perspectives on the topic and see how much time they spend or were spending on their devices.
Would you say you had a social media addiction?
I don't think I had a social media addiction, but definitely addictive tendencies towards social media.
A little bit.
I might have had a slight addiction to it, yes.
Do you think social media addiction is a real thing?
Definitely. I know people who have addictions to social media who can't go like seconds without being on social media.
Do you know people that have a social media addiction or addicted to their social media?
I do.
How do you know? Or why do you think they're addicted?
Because they're constantly checking like Instagram or Snapchat, like with any free time that they have, and like are always on their phones.
Unlike addictions that may start off as self-controlled, social media addiction or obsession is commonly brought on by society and may be unavoidable. That platforms themselves are designed to absorb users with pop-ups, notifications, and colors that stimulate dopamine levels and reward systems in the brain. Many argue that social media is rewiring our brains, especially in younger generations, as more and more children are being exposed, inclined, and even pressured to join social media platforms.
When did you first start using social media?
I was a late bloomer. I got my social media after high school graduation. We graduated at the beginning of June, and then I got my Instagram the following weekend, not for any particular reason. I never wanted it. I was allowed to have it. My brother had it, and I just didn't want it. I felt like once I got it, people would expect me to maintain it, so I waited until after high school, and then I got an Instagram. I think I already had a Snapchat, which is very different from Instagram, but yeah, after high school.
I don't know. I got Snapchat when I was like in 7th grade, 6th grade, and Instagram in 6th grade. So like 12.
I was a late bloomer into social media. So actually, I think if I'm not mistaken, I got a little anniversary from Facebook and it was 8 years.
What was your average screen time?
Probably like 6 hours.
What is it now?
Like 1 or 2. 1.5.
Upwards of 6 hours on my phone before I gave up social media, and now 2 hours is like kind of a high day for me.
So was 4 hours of you on social media, do you think?
Yes.
Per day?
4 hours, yes, definitely. Definitely.
At least an hour and a half every day.
With social media?
Yes.
What do you think what was your screen time without social media?
Probably 30 minutes a day.
When do you think kids should start downloading social media and getting accounts?
I think the later the better. I think it depends. I think it depends on the age that you decide to give your kid a cell phone. I was 13 when I got my first cell phone, but I had an older brother and my parents were always in a close vicinity, so I didn't really need it to get in contact with them. But I think the later the better.
Yes, like 13.
Why?
Because I don't know, I just feel like it's a good age to like start using social media and like the kid is like responsible and like somewhat mature.
8th grade to through high school.
With children spending an average of at least 7 hours a day in front of screens and adults spending at least 11 hours, while also checking their phones every 10 minutes, the term social media addiction has not been very clearly defined. With the rapid progression of technology, we see how social media and screen time compares across generations. We understand how Apple's new screen time setting in iOS 12 is impacting users' ability to track social media usage in hopes that it will bring more awareness to how much time is spent and potentially wasted on social media outlets.